Hello and welcome to Oscar Mike Radio. My name is Travis. Oscar Mike Radio is about military and veterans events, stories, happenings, and the people who drive them. Speaking of a guy who is Oscar Mike, he's been on Oscar Mike Radio before, but I'm happy to have back Chris Turner. How you doing,
What's going on, brother? It's good to see you.
Savage, Chris. I'm savage because I'm excited about this Bold Patriot event you're doing to launch the Freedom Tour.
Yes. I'm really excited about it too, man. It's a good group of guys, and I was just down there last night, and the crew down there and the owners are just excited about it as we are.
Now, how did you get connected to the people at Bold Patriot? Because it's kind of a unique place. For those of you who don't know, it's a bar it's a brewery in Nashville, but it's very unapologetically patriotic. I mean, no doubt when you walk in. So how'd that all come about?
Well, actually, believe it or not, a friend of mine named Robin Dillon, who was here in town, I was in the middle of planning and putting together a poker run for Randy Couture, the Extreme Couture GI Foundation here in Nashville. And we had all the stops laid out. And she was telling me about this brewery that had just came from California, from Corona, and was starting a brewery downtown off of Charlotte Avenue at the L&L Market Building called Bold Patriot Brew House. So I had reached out to him, and she had reached out to him, and we finally got to sit down with the owners. And I sit down and talk to him about, what we wanted to do for the poker run and how we were raising money for Randy's charity. And I even threw the idea at him about, I've got a buddy of mine who owns a hop farm up in Ohio. I said, hey, man, you know what? What if I could get my buddy to donate some hops? Would you guys do a specific brew for this poker run? And they absolutely agreed to it. And that beer is called the Extreme 1776, and it's on tap now at the Bold Patriot. And $1 from that goes to Randy's charity for every beer that's sold. So I got involved with them then, and it was way before they opened, and it was pre-COVID. So what happened was, we had everything lined out for the ride around February and March and started selling tickets. And then ultimately we had to end up postponing it, and hopefully we can make it happen this year. But, they just became like family to me, and they've always allowed me to come down there and play, because I don't try to wear my welcome out. It's such a unique spot to where, whenever I want to do like a benefit or throw a show or something like that, they're my venue of choice. So yeah, they've been really good, and we've been friends and family ever since. I'm just blessed to have them in my life. They're really good people.
Awesome. So you have that going, and then last month I got to meet another friend of yours, Pastor Bob Waldrop from the Crosswinds Foundation. And that was a very interesting meeting because of what he's trying to do and what you're trying to do with Tennessee and the VFW. And, I'm kind of hoping you would tell me about that relationship, because it's very interesting to hear how all that came together.
Yeah, I met Bob about 3 or 4 years ago, and we were working on some stuff. And, he had started this thing called Songs of Hope, but what it is he's with Crosswinds Foundation, and under that umbrella is a 501c3 known as Warriors on Mission. And what Warriors on Mission is to back up a minute. At Crosswinds, Bob comes from a background to where he's always tried to better the community, right? So he started interviewing vets, and he wanted to do something for vets. So they actually cut 2 films called Invisible Scars and Honoring the Code. And they gave the videos away to the veteran community. Well, all of that footage that they received from those videos, he was like, man, I can't just waste it. I need to sit down and look at it. So he looked at it, and Bob actually wrote a 10-week curriculum called the Warrior Hope Curriculum. And what it is, it's a curriculum about healing, opportunity, peace, and empowerment. And whenever, we were playing these Songs of Hope shows, I'd given Bob the idea that I told him I'd always wanted just to do a VFW tour across the country and just play VFWs, because nobody's really doing it. And VFWs have a stigma painted to them, to where they're older vets, and, there's the younger vets don't ever go there. So it was more or less me trying to bring some kind of awareness to the VFWs to try to increase their membership, right?
Right.
So Bob was like, well, I've got this Warrior Hope curriculum. Why don't we tie the two together? He's like, what if we did a tour, and at these tours, we educated people to become leaders, and then those leaders can teach the 10-week curriculum, and then that becomes a brick and mortar known as a Center of Hope. And I was like, man, that's brilliant. He's like, we just got to come up with a tour name. I was like, It needs to be the Freedom Tour. He's like, the Freedom Tour? I said, yeah, man. I said, it's freedom from your past. It's freedom from your demons. It's freedom about patriots. It's freedom from PTSD and moral injury. You know, it's like, there's so many things that can go around the Freedom Tour. Yes, it's patriotic because of what we're doing, but it's got such a bigger meaning than just red, white, and blue and stars and stripes. You know what I mean? So we started doing that. And, you know, we kind of, you included, have told some people about it, and it's really picking up a lot of wind right now. And we're really, really excited about it. And it's one thing to plant your flag and do a show in Iraq and Afghanistan for the troops, but I want my legacy to be to where I actually left resources for people to get help. And that's what I'm most excited about.
And it is exciting because the VFW seems to be so open to it. It's
right.
Like, yeah, we're going to get together, make our VFWs open. We're going to get behind you and not just give lip service, but actually help you promote this and make this a thing. And they're buying into the fact that this is a freedom tour and that their membership can get something out of this. And it's kind of rare. You don't hear that. A lot of people in your genre or, you know, as an artist just want to go there, perform, which they should do, and then go on to the next gig. And it seems like you do, in fact, want to leave something for us.
I do. And, you know, Brian Walker has been really instrumental in this whole get up for the state of Tennessee. He is the incoming state commander for the state. And, you know, he's looked at the material and the leadership training, and he's just, you know, he said he's got a year post, and his year is Crosswinds, Warriors on Mission, and the Freedom Tour, and making sure that all the VFWs throughout the state have access to us and what we're trying to do. So, yeah, you're exactly right, man. It's all about trying to leave the world better than you found it. And, you know, if I can do something like that, then I've done my part, and I can claim my dirt at any day.
So we had the Freedom Tour kicking off at the Bold Patriot in Nashville, Tennessee on April 30th. And one of the things, I'm checking it out, I looked at the video you sent, and I've looked at other pictures online. I'm like, it's just strange, and it's really sad to say this, that this place is unapologetically American.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, when you walk in, you know, as you saw in the video, all of the brews, all the beer that's on tap, I think they've got 20 to 25. The actual tap handles are aluminum die-cast muskets that they had made. And every beer that's on tap has something to do with the freedom of our country, whether it's the Nathan Hale, whether it's the Ton Tavern, whether it's the what is it, the Molly Pritchett or Molly Hatchet or something like that, the Monmouth, the Lexington IPA, and they have a history course every Monday night about the history of our nation. And I mean, they do that every Monday. That for an hour and a half. Galen, one of the founders, he's a huge history buff. So people will come in and they'll drink beer off tap, and they'll sit there and they'll listen to his history course that Galen gives them about the world, about our country and how it was founded. It's just a really, really unique place, and people are starting to flock there, man. I mean, the word's getting out, and it's a really cool venue, and it's a cool spot to go to. It's more than just a bar with live music, and that's what I love about it. They have a purpose.
No, I mean, you walk in there and you know that you're in a pro-America, USA, red, white, and blue place, and I love it.
Yeah.
You know, we're Americans. We're proud to be Americans. We have a rich history. Yeah, we got problems, but you know what? You know, we're still red, white, and blue, and I love that aspect. You know, we talked about other things last time that we got on talk before your last fundraiser show. You know, is the restrictions with COVID-19 easing up to where you can actually, you know, tour the way you want to tour now and make music and perform the way you want to?
Yeah, it's kind of hit or miss. It really depends on the venue and actually where we're playing at. So for me, so far, I have not had any issues with it. But after sitting down with Brian, you know, he's like, we've already got 7 solid Freedom Tour dates for this year, right? But he's wanting to add another 10 to 15 before the end of 2021, and another 10 to 15 by the first half of 2022, which is really exciting. But he said before we actually zero in on those dates, we need to find out how the VFWs feel about COVID restrictions and what needs to happen. So, you know, it has not affected me yet. And it's good to see that the world's opening back up. I mean, living in Nashville, I'm starting to see tour buses rolling down the highway, and that is a really, really good sign. You know, and We're playing. I'm actually doing a show with Trace Adkins May 28th. We're opening for him at a venue down in Columbia, Tennessee. That's called the Maury County Mule Fest, and it's great to actually see that festivals are coming back. So I'm really stoked about it. It's gonna be a good show.
It's been a long road for artists. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're, a big name or indie or what. It has been a long year for you all. A lot of plans have been derailed, and some people have told me, we're closing up shop. We just can't do this anymore. So the fact that you're still here says that you got a good fan base and you know what you're doing. I mean, how's that feel at this time?
Oh, it feels great, and I can't sit here and tell you that it wasn't a struggle. I was very disheartened. I always said when I moved to town, the day that I get ready to break is the day the world's going to end, right? So I was coming off the high from If You Drink and the American Made Project. Me and Bob was already in talks about launching a Freedom Tour in 2020. And then March the 16th, the whole world stopped. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. But the great thing about that is, man, you don't really understand why things happen. But had we launched it last year, we wouldn't have been able to strategically plan and meet the network of people that we have, such as yourself and Danny Rocco and Brian Walker and Tommy Anderson out in California and everybody who's really excited about this event. So I know it sounds cliche, but it may not happen in my timing, but it always happens in God's timing, man. And I really am a strong believer that it got postponed for a reason. So because now we have so many people that's excited about it. We've got the resources. People's been through the leadership course, as you have, and it's about trying to get the word out. And I think by us waiting another year to do it, I think it's going to pay huge dividends in the end.
Well, that's what's really kind of getting to me personally is you tell the story about what's going on, and people who don't know you, never met Pastor Bob, never met Brian Walker, like, I'm in. What can I do? So you got Tom Anderson, who's a producer, songwriter, artist coming out to support you with the sales of his books. Danny and I are going to be there supporting you, and we're excited about that. And it's just like an avalanche. It's just like the train's getting going, and I can't wait to see the destination.
Yeah, it's really cool. I had some people I was talking to up in Minnesota. I'm actually doing an interview with them. It's a radio station called We've Got Your Six. It's a podcast. And I was telling them about the Freedom Tour and about the launch, the official launch, April 30th. To back up, we're doing a Freedom Tour show April 17th at VFW Post 1970. Just to kind of run through it, film it, look at it. And, it's just like playing sports. You always go back and watch film, right?
Right.
But 1970 is where we filmed the If You Drink video. So I thought it was only fitting to take the first show to that VFW.
Right.
So anyway, back to the people from Missouri, I was telling them about the Freedom Tour, and we're going to launch Bowl Patriot. And one of the hosts and one of the DJs messaged me this morning and said, hey, I need hotel information. We're going to fly down for the show. So, I mean, it's like, I'm telling you, man, it's going, I get cold chills thinking about it because this is something that is so big locally now to where I can see the scope of this thing going nationwide within the next 36 months. I mean, just because of what we're doing. And it's something that's really needed. It's easier. I mean, it's easy to call the VA and sit down with a therapist that has no clue and they've got a doctorate, right? And they're trying to pick you apart. But when you put leaders from that VFW who have been in the friggin' suck with you as leaders to teach this course to their brothers, that is a way for veterans and brothers to open up more about what's really going on inside with them outside of just the curriculum, So it's veterans helping veterans. And that, essentially that's what it's going to take. And we'll never stop 22, Travis. But if I can stop one, just one, then I've done my job. And that's what I'm looking forward to.
So one thing I wanted to ask you, because I was taking the course, and one of the things that stuck out to me is it's almost a course too, that if you're a spouse married to somebody dealing with this, or a spouse who is pro-veteran, you could take this course and at least have a bridge to try to connect with your spouse or help another spouse who's having the same problem. I mean, do you agree with me, or do you think I'm off there? Because I thought the course was laid out in a way that explained the problem and then explained what you could do to take action. And I thought that would add value to somebody who is trying to help their husband, wife, or, you know, somebody they really care about.
Yeah, you know, it's funny you say that. I absolutely agree with you. And, you know, thank God for the veterans and putting PTSD and moral injury on the map, right? But it goes so much deeper than that. Like you're talking about the spouses, the families, and you've got police officers, you've got firefighters, you've got sex trafficking victims, people who suffered from physical and mental abuse when they were younger, you know, or what they're going through right now. They always have flashbacks, right? So you're exactly right. But the great thing about it is Bob and the Crosswinds Foundation and Warriors on Mission, they're coming out with a course in this fall. And what this course is about is supposed to be the warrior family, to where it's driven and it's geared directly towards the spouses and the families of the veterans, to teach them, to educate them on exactly what the veterans are going through that are coming back from the battlefield. So we're really excited about that. I know Danny, she's really excited about it because that's something that she really wants to be a part of. So yeah, to answer your question, I wholeheartedly agree with you. But the course that we've got now, you're right. I mean, when you go through it, you see a wider spectrum of it rather than a guy who came back as an amputee. I mean, there's so much more to it than that. I mean, it could be an earthquake. During the training, you heard that as I did. It could be an earthquake, and every time you feel a vibration in the car or something, you think something's going to happen. So, yeah, you're right.
And I think that's one of the best things. And the other thing I liked about the course is you don't need a doctorate in psychology. You don't need to be a licensed social worker. You don't need to be a mental health professional to at least take some action. You know, it's going to give you a basis of tools. You can expand on what the course offers, but you can take what you've learned and put it into action in a very easy, proactive way that I'm like, this is going to work. I'm excited about this. I'm like, this is what we need. I mean, because you're right. We're never going to get to zero.
Right.
But we can certainly impact more than one life if we all work together.
I agree with you. And at the end of the day, you know, that's what it's all about. And it's like I said, you know, it's great to try to stop 22, but you know, we'll never get to zero. But if we can stop one, you know, that's worth its weight in gold right there. So yeah, I'm really excited about it, man. Glad that you guys are a part of it. And I'm a huge fan of Oscar Mike Radio and huge fan of Travis too. So,
well, I mean, likewise, man. I mean, you're getting me more countrified every time I, listen to you. And so what's going on here, folks? So I'm talking to Chris Turner. You can go to christurnermusic.com. I'll have the links to his, website in the show post, and he's going to be performing at the Bold Patriot. If you're not pro-American, you might not want to come, but if you are, well, maybe if you know what, come on anyway. You want to come there Friday night, April 30th, and check out what is getting ready to launch, because you can be part of something that's really amazing, and the word is spreading, and I'm happy to support this, my man. So I'm going to see you. Oh, go ahead.
I didn't mean to cut you off. And talking about Bold Patriot, the official launch is called Mission 4575. So what we're doing is we're trying to raise $4,575 for VFW 4575 to go towards them building a post down in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. So at this event, we're going to have silent auction, giveaways. We're going to have 50-50 raffles, and we're going to have some live music and some great cold beer, man. And, you know, word on the street is it's not confirmed yet, but hopefully I can get the Mission Barbecue Deuce and a Half out there as eye candy. So it's going to be a pretty cool event, man. I'm really excited about it.
So whether you are in Nashville or are not, this is going to be a cool thing to do at the end of the month. It's warming up. It's going to be nice. So I can't wait to be there and support it, my man.
That's right.
Well, this is Travis again with Oscar Mike Radio. I've got Chris Turner, Marine veteran, country music artist extraordinaire, launching this tour. Chris, I want to thank you for your time, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you, brother. It's good to see you.
All right. As we say in Oscar Mike Radio, we are Mission in Flight.